Hi everyone, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. Communities that are too specific. What do I mean by that? So here I'm going to bring up a great topic to discuss from one of my favorite books that I read today. One little quotation that got me thinking how no matter how good of an intent and a community can be to really bring out the best of the people, if you're too specific about how you want to start up these groups to get people activated, the whole problem is now all of a sudden being too specific, you cut out a portion of your community in other instances. And really that can be the backfire. It kind of puts you back in the position where you're trying to inspire people. And so you're thinking, all right, what can we do to really avoid compartmentalizing, I believe that's the word too, instead of breaking everything into pieces, how do we just bring the people back to our communities? How do we get people inspired to participate? And so I'm going to share with you the quotations from Arthur Baranowski. He's a priest, I believe in, it doesn't say yet, I have to look further into where he's from, but he talks about the quotation where if you're compartmentalizing too much, you're going to be too specific and keep people out. So let me share with you the quotation from what he's driving at this point and how his version is to correct that as a leader of a parish. So let me share with you. And so here he goes into saying, specialization can easily become compartmentalization. And paraphrase it to the next part. Look at the way the parish brings its people together. In the first place, is the present parish structure effective for what a parish is meant to do? And here he's bringing about, if you want to bring people in, you got to be able to look at how not just you as a leader is guiding the whole people to bring yourself to the group, right? To get people activated, but you have to find a way to talk to a person, to relate to them, right? Not be too over the top. Just set aside the perfectionism. Even now, you can say, okay, how do you talk to somebody through a camera, right? Well, be real with them and just say, hey, look, I'm just sharing a video here on a point. And in fact, even kind of leads into the sponsorship through the ad I have here. I'm very proud to share with you that I am moving forward with my businesses. Things are real. And so in the first one here, you'll see that as a counselor, I share with you my schedule, and that being for you the time you can find on the calendar something that works for you, and we could start working together. And as well, my specialty with finances, right? Being a licensed broker, and you can see here the different groups that I work with and how the different groups with the different brokers, we can help you with different areas of life. Annuities, retirement, school for the children, the juvenile plans, right? All these different things, policies that you can use, not just those, of course. I mean, there's plenty more financial policies, but take a look at those calendars, see if they can fit your schedule, and maybe we can work together. And now connecting back to the theme of the video, the idea here that people can come together if there is this unity, this idea of being heard. And Father Arthur, he brings up this point kind of back to what we were talking about, compartmentalization. I mix those two up all the time. Point is, if you're too specific, you're going to cut people out of the community. For example, all right, I want the best students in my class just for this time. Everyone else, sorry, there's nothing left for you to study. So you just can be on your own and do whatever you have to do. But you see, when you put that specialty in, the rest of the group is cut out. And so you're thinking, okay, well, isn't there a time to really give special classes for specific groups to become the special agents and all those things in different areas of life? And there is something about that with the balance. I could go into that with another book that I have here that I may bring into maybe the next video. I can discuss about that specialty of special students, classes, athletes, etc. But for the point of this theme, this video, it's talking with everybody, just bringing the ability, the participation back alive for a community. How do we get that participation back on track? And so you're thinking, okay, bringing people together. Father Arthur goes into explaining everyone has to be heard. Can you confidently say that you are heard in your community, your church, your school, your football team, your retirement group, right? Insurance groups, right? All these different things. And are your needs being met? If you can have that sort of answer as a confident yes, yes, I'm heard. Everything about my needs is being heard by my leaders. They understand where I'm coming from. I can talk with these people. They're not trying to throw me over the top answers. They're really trying to talk to me and my family to get me and my family in good situations where we can talk things out and find the answers to our problems. I'm very proud to say that. And that is where you can get to if your leadership is receptive to you and you're thinking, okay, how is it now that you can relate this to today's problems? Well, think about it like this. I know many YouTubers will talk about the ideas of relationships, how people are focused on one group of people and then they're cutting out other groups. Okay, now as a leader, wouldn't you want to help as many people as you can? And some entrepreneurs will say, well, if you're trying to sell to everybody, trying to talk with everyone and be relatable, you're not being specific enough to communicate. But that's the double dagger. You're specific, but what about the rest of the people? If you're the leader of a community, that wholeness still is a part of this idea of not just as a Catholic perspective, but there's other faiths and religions and ideas, communities that want to encompass everybody in the community. And so you think, all right, how is it now that you can go back from the other side of the pendulum to the balance, the middle? Because you don't want to fall into a cult. You don't want to fall into this idea of being, oh, we're all welcomed into a group. But if you look closely, the cult can really be an alluring attraction, but then you recognize you are all brought in. And now there's no way to communicate with the outside world. And you're wondering, all right, we are in trouble. We need to get out of here. And so going back to the other side from the pendulum back to the middle, you have to see, okay, my leaders are talking with me, but they allow me to be free. They allow me to come back to my home, to talk with my families, get back to work, and I'm not secluded in any way. And I would argue that is a good sign of leadership of your communities beyond church that allow you to be a part of the community, but also to participate in faith, to participate in community events with the rest of the parishioners, with your groups. And you're thinking, okay, if you have that beautiful balance of coming in, but coming back to your families, right, outside, and you're thinking, all right, I feel safe here. My needs are met, but they understand the leadership that I have needs of my own at my house, my home, and I need to take care of my businesses and my kids, etc. Got to go to a trip across the states, whatever. Now at least I am heard. That's a beautiful balance. Now, for all leaders who listen to this, be very good to your groups. Be very good to the people you lead. As someone who leads a prayer group at my church, I've also wanted to include families in many ways because I recognize in my church, I can see that not many community groups are there for the young kids, right? Now, there's one group that wants to help the young ladies, right? I think the Catholic Junior Daughters, for the Catholic daughters, right? They have their group. But for the boys, right? There's nothing for them until they head back into adulthood at 18. And you're thinking, whoa, man, what a gap. Can there be something done to help our youth as a whole? And you're thinking, okay, yes, there's all these different things about scandals and negativity. And right, you have to protect the kids, of course. That is so true. So why not have the parents and the families as a whole participate and be there as protectors? See, that's what I'm trying to drive at. When everybody has that participation as a whole, not just secluded, but can participate, that is a wonderful thing. And some instructors will say, well, wait, the kids need their time to grow and be youth and to also grow in their own way. But hey, the elders, the role models can play a big part of that too. And so everyone can be safe and leadership can be there to safeguard everybody to make sure that everyone's okay. And you as leaders got to be accountable to that as well, to make sure that everyone is having their needs met, having the opinions heard, maybe having surveys, maybe having some paper documents, maybe having some links, whatever. This is the modern age, right? To get all of the opinions heard and validated through quick true and falses and quick evaluations to improve systems. We can do this, right? We can find ways to improve our systems. So make sure that your systems have that ability to take criticism and to improve the community as a whole. And you will become a very wholesome leader. And not only that, but have that participation come back into your communities, because now you're inviting everybody to have their say, have their needs met, and now you can encompass many objectives as possible, get the things that need to be voted on done, and then move forward with the projects that you have to take care of. And the families will flourish, and you'll be proud as the leader of those communities, and I know you'll be happy. things to consider. All right, everyone, I hope this one finds you well. Don't forget, too specialized can lead to separation of community people from the rest of the groups. Compartmentalization can be a double-edged sword. So watch out for the backfire. Always remember that specialties are real, but balance that out with as much public participation as possible so that people feel heard, their needs are met, and that way they can confidently say, my leader of my church, leader of my business, they heard me. I am proud to be a part of this organization, this group. I'm proud to also know that they allow me to be happy with my own personal endeavors, with my family and home, and that's awesome. So leaders, allow the openness to be true in your communities and have trust in the system and have trust in yourself and the people around you that things can work. Things to consider. All right, everyone, hope this one finds you well. Take care. Have a good one.